What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and thanks again for tuning in to another video. Yours truly in the garage of truck therapy. Let's call it truck therapy because honestly, at the end of the day, this stuff is kind of therapeutic for me. So today I'm going to actually be working on one of the trucks finally, right? Weather's beautiful outside, got parts lining up. So that's kind of the goal for today. Now, today's video in particular, the front bumper on this thing, which if you're looking at it, probably looks pretty good from 10 feet, 15 feet away. It's seen better days. Now, there's two things with this front bumper I'm not a huge fan of. The first one is obviously the damage on it, which I'll show you here in a second. On the passenger side, it looks like they hit something with it. So the plastic is kind of contorted a bit, and the shop that I work with said that they could fix it, but it probably wouldn't really look the best. So I figured I'd order a new factory cover for it. So I was able to actually source, I guess one of the last ones around here, which I was pretty excited to be able to get, pretty fortunate. So I'll show you that here in a second because I've actually got it right down below the camera. But the other thing about this bumper I'm not a huge fan of is the front license plate bracket, which I know there are quite a few states where they prefer them. I know some people don't really care for them. Some people run them, and that's totally fine. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the front license plate. I think it kind of takes away from the cleanliness of the front of the truck. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to get rid of this because whoever ends up owning this truck after me may want it. So for now, the new front bumper cover will be going on, and I'll be saving that, but it's not going on while I own it. So without further ado, let me show you. Now, I just got this back, so it's been a bit of a process, but here she is. So brand new front bumper cover, all dialed in, ready to rock and roll, right? Painted to match. Looks really good. So this bad boy will be going on the 08 today. Again, it's not that big of a install, doesn't take that much time, and I guess if my memory serves me correctly, I can actually do it with the bumper still on the truck by removing the bumper guard. You've got a couple of bolts inside the wheel wells and some clips up underneath here, and then obviously the air dam down below, which I'll be transferring over to this one because apparently you can't get them anymore. So for the sake of time for today, I'm going to try to do this with the bumper on the truck. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm not saying, hey, you just get it knocked out, because I've never done it with it on the truck. Typically, I take the front bumpers off, take the old covers off, clean it up, swap the new cover on, and then install it. But after so many of those, I was thinking to myself, I could probably actually swap it with it on the truck, so I'm going to give that a shot. So yeah, so I guess wish me luck. Now, the first thing that you got to do with this is there is the step pad that sits right here. Now, I did order a new one that is supposed to be here tomorrow. So the nice thing is getting this bumper on today, making sure that all the gaps in the top of the cover line up with the metal support that's underneath here lines up. I'll be able to basically, come home, swap the new piece on, and rock and roll. Now, this literally, guys and gals, if you're looking at this, you pull up the corner, and it unclips. Now, some of you watch my videos and think that it's a little unorthodox how I do things. I don't really care. That's how I do it, and that's what works. In this case, if I did want to reuse this factory piece or save it because the other piece maybe didn't fit quite as well, if you look underneath here, with the exception of, one clip, I can reuse this piece, right? Granted, sometimes you just kind of got to go with it. Sometimes you got to give it a little bit more finesse. So I will save this until I get the new piece, just to make sure that it fits well. And then I'll figure out how to clean this up if I do reuse it. So now that's out of the way. Next up, there are a couple of bolts inside the wheel liners themselves. I believe there's 2 or 3 that I've got to take out. So I'm going to get the camera set up where I can actually get you a little closer to the truck, show you the damage on the front bumper over here so you kind of have a better idea of what I'm talking about, and then get these bad boys swapped. So give me a sec. I'll get the camera put up where you can actually see everything, and then we'll get back to it. All right, guys. So first things first, after removing that step pad on the front bumper, you got a couple of Torx bolts that sit inside here, 3 per side. Obviously, one kind of buried down low. That's from the 24s. Anyway, so I got to take these 3 out, and then there are some plastic clips that sit underneath the front, I guess, top of the bumper, which I'll show you now, that I'll probably be as careful as I can taking out, which are these bad boys right here. So there's 4 of those that I'll be removing so I can reuse them with a new one. And in theory, once I take the front license plate bracket off, get those out, and the Torx bolts in the wheel well, I should be able to pull the bumper out and around the bracing that sits back there, where the Torx bits where the bolts kind of hold the bumper in and the wheel wells. and just kind of slowly pull the bumper off. Because if you look at the way the factory bumper sits, it really just kind of like goes on like a cover and then kind of wraps around the edges. And by edges, I mean inside here. So it's not too terribly difficult to do. I will tell you that I have swapped these bumpers on a non-sport equipped truck as well, or a non-sport, whatever you want to call them, you know, the bracing underneath this. And I was only able to use 2 of these, right? Now you can put a sport cover on a non-sport bumper, right? It just takes a little bit of ingenuity. So now for the damage on the bumper, and I'm not sure the camera's gonna pick it up, but if you look right here, there's about 5 bottles of touch-up paint, I bet, in this whole area right here, okay? The plastic's kind of jacked up. So anyway, just to make it easier, and unfortunately, I don't know if you can really see it, but right inside here, the plastic is splitting from whenever that impact happened when the previous owner had it. So I just want to start fresh. This is a fresh start. This should help the front end look that much better, up close or far away. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to get the camera set back up over here. I'm going to attempt to swap the bumper cover with the bumper on. Now, in the event that I don't succeed, which I've never done this before. So this is a first for me, it's a first for us. We're taking this trip together. Let's just be excited and hope for the best. If that doesn't work, there are 6 bolts that hold the front bumper on to the front of the frame. Once you undo the wiring for the fog lights, you remove those 6. I don't know, I can't remember what size they are. I think they're like a 19 or a 20 mil if I'm not mistaken. But once you take those 6 off, the whole front bumper comes off. So it's not too terrible. I'm only doing this because I'm going to try to get this done with the bumper on the truck. Not saying it's the brightest idea, but I mean, if it saves a little bit of time, can't really go wrong. So let me get the camera set back up over here and I'll get back to it. All right, guys, so I'm happy to report that I was able to basically get 2 of those clips out without breaking them. And let me show you. So this little bad boy right here, see that? This little plastic piece sits inside of here. And this sits below the surface. And trying to get my big hands up in there and trying to basically get a screwdriver in here to push it down, well, didn't work out super well. But I got 2. I'm going to go get 2 more. I might go get 4 more just in case. But now I've got the T27 bolts out of the inside of the wheel wells. Got the bumper step pad, or yeah, the step pad off. Those clips out. Now it's as easy as this. There you go. So front bumper is off. I will get all this cleaned up, and then I will reinstall the new factory one that I've got sitting, that I got painted onto here, and then get everything secured back up. Reuse those 2 bolts. I may reuse that step pad for now, or I may just wait till I get the other one and then throw that on, just so I don't have to do the job twice. But all in all, it's really not that bad, guys. I honestly didn't think that it was going to be that easy. Obviously, the little plastic clips proved to be a little bit more than I anticipated, but and also I'm going to swap over this little factory valence piece, and it looks like that just kind of clips in. So I'll get that off and get it onto the new bumper, get all this cleaned up. And as you can tell, I mean, it's a 2008, right? I'm not going to go through and clean, you know, get all crazy with it and paint everything, but honestly, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm quite surprised. So I'll probably take some of my little Meguiar's ceramic spray, get it all cleaned up and whatnot, get the valance swapped, get the new one on, and then put everything back together. So I'm going to get started on cleaning this stuff off, and then I'll get that transferred to the new one, get the new one on, and we'll rock and roll. So be right back. All right, guys, so I got the valance off. Honestly, I'm probably going to try to clean this up a little bit. I'm not really sure how. Probably clean it up, put maybe some ceramic coat on or something, just to kind of darken it up a little bit. Snap it onto the new bumper, throw the new bumper on, get it tightened down, and that's it. So wish me luck. I'm going to wipe this off, try to put some ceramic coat on it, pop it on the new bumper, and then put the new bumper on. And not gonna lie, I went ahead, if you got a keen eye, I did go ahead and paint the tow hooks as well as the bases. I figured it's probably the easiest time to do it with the bumper being off and not having to take the bumper off, which saves some time. So I did put about 4 coats of Duplicolor 1634 paint on the tow hooks as well as the base, and then just kind of cleaned up around them real quick. So I mean, obviously you can probably tell the difference in where I painted, where I didn't, where I painted, where I didn't. So yeah. So actually it's kind of a 2-for-1. So it gets the new bumper cover on it, which is clean, obviously brand new. It'll give me a chance to clean up this little valance that sits below the bumper. And I was able to get the tow hooks cleaned up, which is kind of nice. So basically when this thing's back together in the front, I mean, it should look pretty dang good for a 2008. I mean, not brand new, obviously, by any means, but overall, for an almost 20-year-old truck that I didn't have to repaint the truck at all. I mean, it's factory paint for the most part, obviously, with the exception of the bumper, the tailgate, and the rear bumper. It looks pretty good. It's turning out pretty nice. So let me get this piece done and snapped onto that, and then I'll get back with you showing you basically how to kind of finesse the new bumper back on, or I should say the bumper cover onto the truck, get it strapped and bolted down, and off we go to the races. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get this done, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I got the valance cleaned up with some Adams surface prep and put 1 coat of Adams ceramic coating on there, let it cure on there, dry on there, whatever you want to call it, for about 25 minutes, wiped it off, threw it on the new bumper cover, so that way it's a little bit easier once I get the bumper cover on the truck, one less thing to do. So with that being said, now it's time to basically put the icing on the cake. Now, I did paint the tow hooks, so they've got about an hour since I put the last coat on there, so I am going to be careful when sliding the cover back on, because obviously I don't want to scrape the tow hooks because they actually look really good now. So the goal is to get the bumper cover situated on there, and then get the edges kind of pulled around on the inside of the wheel liners back here, get those T27 nuts in there, and then go back through and apply the little plastic clips underneath there, and that's it. Because I checked, and the new bumper step pad should be arriving sometime tomorrow before 3 o'clock. So I'm not driving the truck tomorrow. It's going to be right back into the garage. So when I get the bumper cover, I can pop it on there. Front bumper, front end is done, right? And I got to say, once this thing's back together, I think it's going to look pretty damn impressive. And the nice thing is I haven't had to do a ton of work up front on this thing as far as aesthetically goes. I mean, obviously I did swap in the Alpha Rex headlights, which I'm a huge fan of. I did go with CJC Off-Road's Baja Designs fog light kit for the 3rd gen, which was all plug and play. And I did swap in the black grill inserts as well as a Billet Badges Punisher logo. But other than that, guys and gals, I haven't done a whole lot up front of this truck. Obviously under the hood, a little different story. But again, even that's not really over the top. Basic weight loss on this truck with an AFE intake on it. So it sounds good, it breathes good, and it runs by far better than it did when I first picked it up. And no check engine light, knock on wood. So let's get this thing lined up and get it put on there. I'll show you guys how easy this is to do. Again, it just slides over, right? There's no kind of weird angles to it. If you just line it up and kind of push it, here, let's just do it. Enough talking and more doing. So that's it. Now, it's nice and tucked around the driver's side on the edge. And that's it, guys and gals. Front bumper cover is on. Valance is on. And that, to me, looks so much better. So clean. No front license plate bracket up front, which, again, I'm a fan of. It just kind of continues with the look of the truck, in my opinion. New step pad will go on. The nice thing with this being a factory bumper cover, not an aftermarket one, which I've obviously used both in the past. The factory one doesn't have any kind of the waves up front. So when you kind of come up here to line up the new step pad, literally the openings in the bumper line up with the support underneath perfect. And there's no gaps, there's no space. So this thing fits phenomenal. So now the goal is to get the T27 Torx bits in there, get them lined up with the whatever that is, the bracket or whatnot behind it, to get those secured in there. And then I'll get these little plastic push pins popped in there, and that's it. Now, until I get a couple more of these, right? The nice thing with where these are located is obviously they're going to secure them up underneath. I'm going to install these particular ones on the outside and leave the two middle ones open, because once I get this bumper step pad on there, it's really going to pull that front piece into the support that much better. So I'm going to get these put on there real quick. I figured I'd clean them up, throw them on, and then I'll get those T27 bolts in there, and then I'll show you guys almost the final product. Almost. We're getting there. All right, so plastic clips are in. The tow hooks still look really, really good. Obviously, for being an 08, you would almost think that they're new, but they're not. And now I'm going to get those T27 Torx bits started on the inside of the wheel liner, or I should say in the wheel wells, and that's it for today. So as you can tell, yes, it is easy to swap the front bumper cover with the bumper still on the truck. There's the proof of it, and probably saves a little bit of time from having to remove the entire front bumper, take the old bumper cover off, throw the new one on, have to lift it up and line it up. So this was by far a success in my book. This was a good thing. So next up, I'll show you guys right after I get done tightening this down, just a quick update on the back. I did have the bed liner done. I had the tailgate done as well, but unfortunately, well, it's getting some touch-up work done to it. But I will show you guys the bed here in a second. And then once the step pad's on, tailgate's on, all that good stuff, the truck's pretty much done aesthetically. Or aesthetically, it's done. I was going to throw a bed cover on this thing, but I don't think the guy getting it next, or I should say the next owner of the truck necessarily wants a soft roll-up cover. I think he may opt for like a hard trifold or something like that. So it's not getting a bed cover, which is fine by me, because when you look inside this thing, it looks great. I mean, everything's brand new. They were able to kind of get the bed, a lot of the dents worked out of it. So yeah. So let me get those T27 bolts in there, and then I'll get you a little bit closer up view of the front bumper, the newest addition to my 08. So be right back. All right, guys. So front bumper cover is officially on and almost done. Now, I checked the front bumper, the step pad won't be here till Saturday actually. So I figured I want to drive the truck between now and then, so I just threw the factory one back on, but that's on, secured. Now, again, I'm going to be replacing this with a new one, but just for the sake of being able to help secure the bumper onto the frame underneath it, I pop this back on there, and that's it. So there is the freshly installed, freshly painted factory bumper cover on the truck. Freshly painted tow hooks and bases, and I could not be happier. This thing looks great. I mean, it literally, if I'd have known that it was that easy to just swap the bumper cover on these without having to take the front bumper off, I'd probably do it to every single one of them that I've had, and it would have taken me a lot less time. But anyway, better late than never, right? So here you go. There's a better view of it on there. As you can tell, this side is a little bit higher towards the back of that little gap right there is going to drive me nuts. So I'll probably end up realigning the front bumper. But overall, I give this install 10 out of 10. Worth it in every aspect. There's no front license plate on the front, okay? Plus, even if you take that off on the factory bumpers, you typically get, you know, marring through the paint where the bracket's been on there. Obviously, you've got holes in the front bumper. So, yes, because it's a factory one, it does have the dimples in there for the license plate bracket. But I will take this over a license plate bracket any day of the week. The valence on this thing turned out phenomenal. It looks a lot better. Granted, it's not the biggest thing on the planet, but the nice thing with it is it's there. It is the factory part, so obviously factory valence, factory bumper, can't really go wrong there. And The biggest reason why I replaced this is now gone. And that was all the damage that was over here on the factory bumper, with the plastic being all jacked up, a couple bottles of touch-up paint. It looks great. Bumper's not separating anymore. So yeah, so I got to tell you, I could not be happier with the outcome of this thing. I think it looks great. Didn't take very long. Didn't break the bank cost-wise. And yeah, just one step closer now to basically getting this thing in front of a camera for you guys and gals to show you the entire thing done aesthetically, right? With my parallel forged 18s and some fat ass Toyos, I should say. Toyo MTs to be exact. Now, I told you I was going to show you the bed, so here we go. Here is the bed, right? Now, if you guys remember, obviously the truck didn't have a bed liner in it when I got it. Someone had kind of done their own thing in there, but the crew over at Mil-Spec was able to get the majority of it out and get it cleaned up enough where they could apply a brand new bed liner. I did end up going over the rails on this, just because there were some pretty gnarly scratches across the top of the bed rails. So I did put, I had those guys do the over the rail liner, and that turned out great. The back bumper turned out great. The tailgate's going to turn out great. So yeah, I mean, I'm in that home stretch now, right? I'm in that, I've got just a little bit more to do, and this thing is ready to party. But here you go. Here's how it sits right now. There she is. My 2008 third gen that I love this little truck. And it now belongs, I mean, it looks like it fits the fleet perfect, right? White and black Dodge, not a huge lift on it. All car lead and third, out suspension wise, all LED lights. So yeah. So when I get done with this thing, bumper, step pad, tailgate, and I think that's about it for now. I will do a full updated video for you on it. I don't have a whole lot more to do this thing. I do have this thing scheduled to get a radio put in it next week, which would be phenomenal because it'll be nice to actually drive around on this thing and not have to rely on the speaker on my phone for music the entire time I'm driving, and put something there that's got CarPlay on it so I can welcome the truck into the 21st century. Now, aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to throw the new drive shaft that I've got sitting inside on this thing, and the truck is done. It's ready to go. I'm not really doing anything else to it. I've pondered on this, long and hard. I thought maybe I would probably add a few more things under the hood of this thing, maybe lower it down. But I think the way this truck looks right now, especially once I get the tailgate back and get that on there, I think it's like that. It's money. I mean, it's not overdone. It's simple. It's clean. It drives extremely well. It rides really well. It's got the perfect stance to it. I mean, if you guys want to look at that, there it is. Got a little bit of poke to it. Obviously, it's got some 18x9s with, I believe, a plus 12 offset, I think, are what these wheels are. And then obviously 37 1350 Toyos. I mean, those things they're meats, and I love it, and they fit the truck perfect. So that's it for today's video. Next up, I'll basically just be doing an update for you guys and gals. I mean, the tailgate, you don't really want to watch me throw a tailgate on there. It's not that. That's 30 seconds, get it lined up and pop it in each side, and then obviously just put those little latches or whatever they're called, the little whatever to help keep the tailgate from falling off, and that's it. So the next video will be the done, updated, ready to party video. Maybe have the radio, maybe I'll wait, maybe I won't, maybe I want to show you guys this thing all done up. But yeah, this thing looks so good. It just does. And I cannot wait to show you guys. And I know, right, you've seen it, maybe not. Actually, I think last time you guys saw it, it was on a different set of wheels and tires. So this is it. This is the final version for me of this truck, and I'm not going to do anything else to it that I haven't already done to it. So thanks again for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you guys and gals, and any questions or comments or anything that you guys have, leave them down below. And as always, have a great rest of your day.